Well, a few races are still too close to call, while others are being challenged, and, well, quite frankly, they may drag on for a while. But the midterms otherwise are behind us, and the focus has shifted big time to the next election cycle. 2020 right around the corner. The question, though, lessons. What did we learn this week, and what will come in handy for 2020? Let's ask our panel. Madison Jessiato, attorney and National Diversity Coalition for Trump advisor. Beverly Hallberg, District Media Group, and both and ladies in studio. Let me start with you, Madison. You know, a lot of discussion about the shrinking voter base for the Republican Party. And if you look at the different sort of people that were elected this year, a lot of milestones from Muslim candidates to Korean-born candidates. And by the way, the Korean woman from California is a Republican. She didn't get much press. But the point is that they're saying just demographically, the Republican message and the way it's been delivered means that ultimately they will lose election after election. Are you buying that?
I'm not buying it for the simple fact that people vote with their pocketbooks. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what background you come from. If the economy is strong and if you are feeling
But what if someone's promised you free stuff, though? That's your pocketbook, especially if you're young, you just got into the job market. Hey, I'll take care of your student debt, I'll do this, I'll do that. Sounds pretty enticing.
And that may fool some people, but I'll tell you right now, as a millennial myself, that's not fooling everybody. We recognize that it's not real life. It sounds great, but how are you going to pay for it? People look at the numbers and they recognize that this can't all be paid for. We don't have enough money to pay for these things. And people, you know, they support a lot of these economic policies that have been coming out from the Trump administration, from the Republicans. And while, no, we didn't have an overwhelming red wave that many Republicans hoped for Tuesday, we also didn't see a blue wave that many Democrats said we would see, especially in the Senate.
Maybe what held that red wave back were suburban housewives, which seemed to have flipped here. You're a messaging expert. What would the message be to the Republican Party going into 2020 to reclaim that voting bloc?
Well, I think they need to talk about how women are entrepreneurs and women are business owners. A lot of these suburban women have jobs, so you do have to talk to them about the economy. But what I found was interesting about this whole election was especially the Senate. I think the reason why the Senate gained seats is because of the Kavanaugh effect. I think Chuck Schumer is definitely questioning the tactics that he used against Kavanaugh. I think what we saw, and you may even have the scales tip even more with suburban women with this, is making sure that people are doing things honestly and not tearing people down, because these suburban women are married to men. So we need to make sure that Republicans are standing up for both of them, and also some of these tactics are called out.
Well, one thing we do see whenever there are issues like that, the Democrats always overplay their hand. And I think the media also overplays their hand as well. But having said that, we had Ronna McDaniel on at the top of the show, and she admitted maybe it's time to also vet the candidates a little bit better, the vetting process. Were you happy with all of the candidates? It feels like the party has more or less aligned itself with President Trump. Certainly, those who were lukewarm Trump lost big time.
Absolutely, and I don't think there's ever going to be an election where one person's going to be happy with every candidate. But at the same time, I think she has a valid point there. We need to make sure that we have candidates that are going to be strong, that are going to be able to win their races. Yes, we had a strong night in the Senate, as she said, because of a lot of the things that happened throughout the Kavanaugh nomination process. On average, presidents' parties typically lose 2.5 seats. Obama and Clinton lost 6 and 9 seats, respectively, during their first midterms. Trump won seats, but we could have done a lot better in the House. And so I think we need to reflect and we need to improve as the Republican
and
Party
Obama
stepping
and
forward.
Both lost. They lost over 60 and over 50 House seats as well.
Yes.
Beverly, overall, people are engaged. I mean, for whatever you want, I call it the Trump effect. Whether you love him or hate him, people went out to vote. I mean, so much money poured into this. It was the most expensive, billions, I think $5 billion. It was an amazing race, but it didn't leave us any closer as a nation. I mean, again, you know, as someone who watches this from a macro level, what do you see in 2020? Is there a way to have another race where everyone's engaged, but we kind of come out of it feeling better no matter what side wins?
I'm not sure we're going to come out feeling better. I think we are still going to have great engagement in the elections. One thing I think Democrats should definitely take from this, I think often they're very tone deaf to the fact that most people who voted for Trump really like what he's doing. I've yet to meet a Trump voter who says, I regret voting for him. Right. So I think they're going to have to change their tactics moving forward, and Republicans need to line up with Trump on the policies, separate themselves from the rhetoric, and I think that's what they need to do on a messaging stance.
Ladies, thank you both very much. It's great having both of you in the studio.
Thank you. With you.
Hey.